Hello everyone, my name is Jacob and this is the Wrestling Villa, the only true home for the wrestling fan base. As it stands right now, no one can be a megastar in all elite wrestling. But before you click off, hear me out. Everyone gives WWE crap for having a Monday Night Raw be 3 hours, and then 2 hours of NXT 2.0, and then an hour of NXT UK, and then another 2 hours of SmackDown on Friday. And all total, that's 8 hours of programming in the span of a week, not including if there's a pay-per-view, if there's a takeover, if there's a two-night pay-per-view like WrestleMania. That's 5 hours each. That's another 10 hours of wrestling, not including the Hall of Fame and NXT takeover. So that's a lot of hours in 1 week of just one specific product. But they have the time to develop stars, whereas AEW has Dynamite, Dark, Elevation, which I'm pretty sure no one watches really Dark or Elevation. They just look at the results to see how it boosts their win-loss ratio. And then you have Rampage on Fridays, which is only an hour, and it's at the 10 p.m. time slot on a Friday, which I feel like a lot of people are out, especially people around my age are out doing stuff. Me, no, not so much. I'm watching wrestling, but you get what I'm saying. That's like about 3 hours of programming that a majority of their fan base watch. That's obviously not including Dark and Elevation, because I really don't think people watch those like that. I haven't checked the numbers on YouTube, but I just don't see them getting that much traction. So we're now in like the third year of All Elite Wrestling being a promotion. So let's take a look at some of the stars that are there now and where they came from beforehand. Let's do Bryan Danielson. Everybody knows the story of Daniel Bryan. He was a massive star in WWE, a massive star in Ring of Honor beforehand. All he's done over the years is build his star power, and I don't think he's ever going to reach that level of stardom that he had in 2014. And that sucks because he had a career-ending injury that he came back from, but I don't think AEW has really done anything to elevate him even more. He does have a darker side, but I don't think it's, gonna drive fans up the wall about it. And then you have Adam Cole. Maybe it's just me, but Adam Cole doesn't look to be in the shape that he was when he was carrying NXT Black and Gold on his back. I'm a huge fan of Adam Cole and the whole entire Undisputed Era. I just don't see, he may be having more fun with his friends in AEW, but the Adam Cole in NXT was a freaking rock star. And I just don't see that in AEW right now. So I don't think that they're helping him build his brand. Kenny Omega, I think this one's pretty obvious. Yeah, he's carried the company on his back for about a year, but he's gone right now, and I think they're suffering for it. I'm not even a Kenny Omega fan, but he was a massive star in New Japan before he even signed with AEW. I don't think he could get any bigger than he already was either. Pac, the king of the cruiserweights. The way that he and Andrade have been used since joining AEW is absolutely atrocious. Now, I think they both had some trouble on the main roster in WWE, especially Andrade. Pac, Neville was amazing as cruiserweight champion, and he was like a highlight to watch. Even when he was called up before the whole cruiserweight division, he was always like a highlight of the whole entire show. But Andrade, he hasn't been anything since NXT. When he had that match with Johnny Gargano in like January of 17, 18, he hasn't done anything since. His character makes no, like, he's just walking around like he's a rich Hispanic guy. That's all he is right now. He doesn't really have any character development. Not at all. But I will give AEW this. There have been 4 people who have elevated their stock since being there. I'm not saying they've built them as stars, but they have elevated their stock. First up, Darby Allin. I think Darby Allin could have succeeded no matter where he went. The fact that he throws his body into a minefield and just anticipates blowing up, essentially, shows that he could have made it. He is Jeff Hardy Jr. And I don't think that any company would have like shunned away from him. Like, yeah, he had some controversial things on the side in his personal life, but I think that he would have done well no matter where he went. AEW has given more eyes on him, absolutely. But I think if he would have kept building his brand over the next few years before signing with them, he would be even bigger. But that's all on him. Next, MJF. MJF is the promo god, you could call him, honestly. And I think that he was about as big as he could have got on the indies also. He didn't reach Bullet Club level, but I don't think anybody ever will again. No, I don't think that they should have had the attention that they had, because I don't know, they kind of took over North America and Japan at the same time. It was wild. But MJF has risen his stock, and I think it's just because promos, and the reason that AEW let him get as big as he's gotten is because he has a little bit of creative freedom. Now, I think some of it's cringe. I think a lot of it's low-hanging fruit. I think he goes for cheap shots sometimes. But he is a heel, so you can kind of excuse it somewhat. But the bidding war of 2024, I think he might go with WWE. If not, it's going to be a huge tease that's not going to pay off. But I think he might go, and I think they might give him a little bit of freedom. Obviously, not go out there and just go rogue on the mic, because Vince McMahon doesn't allow that. But I think he's going to have some freedom, and I think he's going to shine no matter what. But by proxy, since MJF has risen, let's talk about Wardlow. I think Wardlow is the black sheep of AEW. I think he's going to be one of the biggest stars that they have, and I think they know it. They're just trying to let it marinate over time and build organically, so when he does eventually turn on MJF, there's your top babyface. And that's going to be a roller coaster, because their feud is going to be so good. I anticipate, I don't know how Wardlow's mic skills are. That's what I'm a little worried about. But their feud is going to be so big that I think it's going to take over whatever's going on in the world title picture. So that's 3 stars that have elevated themselves. But let's talk about somebody that I think that AEW has truly made into a star. And that would be Ricky Starks. I hadn't heard of him until the whole Team Taz angle, because I don't follow the indies that much. I really don't. I don't have the time. I watch enough WWE and AEW, and I can't keep up with everything. A little bit of tabs on Impact, but that's about it. I had never heard of Ricky Starks until then, especially until his feud with Darby Allin. I wasn't really paying attention even then until that feud. So he has a lot of potential. He's very crisp in the ring. His promo skills are really good. He's teamed with Taz. The whole thing with Powerhouse Hobbs, that's another person I think that could be bigger. In WWE, Powerhouse Hobbs, oh my, don't even get me started. But I don't know what his ceiling is yet. A lot of people say he's the next Rock. And I think that's a lot of weight to put on somebody. I don't entirely agree with that, because it's a lot of pressure, especially somebody so young into their career. So you guys can do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sit back and watch and see what happens. But we need concrete proof that AEW can't build a star to help prove my point. And I think the biggest thing to prove my point would be the whole Brian Cage situation. It is rumored that he is leaving in the next couple months. He is done with AEW. He has been complaining. No, it wasn't him. His wife has been complaining. Melissa Santos has been complaining on Twitter about the way that he is being used. Brian Cage was built as a star coming in. He debuted in that ladder match. What was it, some kind of casino ladder match? And they built him up massive. And I was like, oh God, here we go. Because I'm not the biggest Brian Cage guy. I think he's just a big meathead. And I don't think there's much more to him. But that whole situation, and then they teamed him with Taz, and that was going somewhere. His feud with Darby was really, really good. You're just going to let somebody like that leave the company? He's been a star everywhere he's went. He was massive in Lucha Underground, which I need to do a video on Lucha Underground. What's going on? I mean, Brian Cage kind of has the whole package. He can move a lot better than a big man normally can, and nothing's being done with him at all. He hasn't been on TV since October. So, I don't know. That's pretty much my whole entire point. And I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. I will say this. I'm anxious to see how Hook goes. If Hook elevates the way that they're building him to elevate, the way the internet is building him to elevate, I will do another video and I will say that I am wrong. But until then, that's going to be it for today. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and last but not least, join the villa.